Welcome to Cozy Coven Chats with Jenny C. Bell, where we explore the journey of the witch. Hey witches, welcome to another Cozy Coven Chat. I'm your host, Jenny C. Bell, and today's episode we're really going to focus on the autumn equinox, what that means for us as witches, how to celebrate, how to tune in, all of that. Because we like to talk about the energies first. That's going to be the focus of this episode more than anything. So we're going to talk a little bit about the other energies that are going on because a lot's going on. So today is the eclipse in Virgo, which we talked about last episode. And this is the closing of eclipse season, the closing of the portal or threshold. And so by this point, hopefully you have kind of figured out what has been your story or theme of the eclipse, because we talked about it last week. And you may still feel eclipse energy for this entire week. Astrologers will say sometimes up to like 7 days to process major astrological events, which is always talk about like if you're going to celebrate a new moon, you can celebrate it 3 days before, 3 days after. Same with the full moon. So 7 days total before and after. So if like today goes by and you're like, I don't really know what this is about for me, it might come to you later this week. So just trust that it'll come to you. As we talked about last week, it's in Virgo, and Virgo season pretty much ends today. So it's very interesting. It's like, I think of new moon a lot of times like fresh start energy, but the season's ending and this is the last of the eclipse. Because, every ending is a beginning, every beginning is an end. So, it's just two sides of the same coin. And so today may not feel like typical new moon energy. Personally, new moons can go either way, right? Like they can be the end of the cycle or celebrated as a dark moon, or they can be seen as a new fresh start. Now, what we talked about with eclipses, like it's just not a regular new moon. So we talked about how it's not a regular full moon when there's an eclipse. It's the same for this new moon. So, I may not actually do much of anything today. It's going to be probably a good tarot reading to see if lessons have been learned and what's energy still hanging around. Other than that, I just feel like I might journal and rest. I'm not feeling fresh start. This is not manifesting new moon energy. This is like coming to the end of a season. We're coming to the end of summer. We're coming to the end of Virgo season, and we're coming to the end of the eclipse season. Like it's a lot of ending energy. So it might be a good day if you're going to do anything to release the lessons learned. Could be to release the lessons learned of summer, to show gratitude for whatever happened for you for summer. I think the key theme would be release. So if you're going to do any kind of magic, do any kind of ritual or spell, release. It's time to release. So burning paper, burning things. We're doing that in our coven on Monday. I'm doing a live where we're going to, I'm going to lead everybody through a little prayer and a short meditation. We're going to journal, and then we're going to burn some things we need to release. And it's just live in the our coven Mighty Network app. So no link or anything. They just need to show up, and it'll be recorded for people that can't make it. Alternatively, if you want to do something similar, but you don't like to have fire, you don't really vibe with that, you can write what you need to write in pen and then rip it up and put it in a bowl of water, because same kind of idea, right? And then throw that the wet paper away. It's totally up to you. So yeah, release. I really think it's what needs to be done at this time. All right, let's get our tarot card for the week. Okay, so we have the Chariot. Interesting, because we are going into the equinox, which is a day of balance, right? Equinoxes, we get 2 a year, and they are balancing days because the night and the day are the exact same length. So from here on out, the nights will grow longer all the way until winter solstice. And so these equinoxes are our 2 days, spring and fall, twice a year, for us to check in with balance for ourselves. So Chariot, being like black and white, very balancing. Chariot's associated with the moon and Cancer. And whenever Chariot comes in for me, I always think of it as fast moving energy. Like it's pushing energy quickly. So what makes me think of is the balancing, like I just talked about with you, that we really need to focus on balancing this week and how to balance for the equinox and what's standing in our way of balance and what does it even mean to be balanced, and in the different parts of our life, like work-life balance, friend versus mom balance, healthy eating versus having fun balance, exercise versus rest. There's so many different aspects. You don't have to look at all of them. We will talk more at the end with journal questions, but this is definitely a week to be reflecting on that. But with the Chariot, the other part of the Chariot is that fast-moving energy. Like when you are reading like a spread and the tarot comes into, or that card comes into that spread, the Chariot, it often means that whatever you're seeing in those cards is going to happen quickly. It's either going to happen soon or it's going to happen fast. However, it's that temperament. So fast change, quick movement, which is interesting because this whole eclipse has made me feel slowed down. So it makes me think, does that mean that we won't feel so slowed down or stuck? We'll feel like we can move quickly, possibly. It may unstick some things for some of us, hopefully. So you can reflect on that. And you may even want to ask yourself, like if you're looking for something to do for the new moon, take the Chariot card out, prop her up on the altar and say, okay, where do I need a little help? Where do I need a little quickening? Where do I need to speed things up or help things move a little quicker right now? And reflect on that. Okay, so very interesting. Before I dive into the autumn equinox and all that it means, which is quite a bit, I want to tell you that I was talking about this last time, but I'm going to be on Granddaughter Crow's podcast, Belief, Being, and Beyond, on October 14th. So if you don't already subscribe to her podcast, do that. She's having a whole series on the veil thinning, and I get to kick it off and talk about Samhain. So super excited, and I'd love for you to listen to that. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about a couple things. I guess we'll just jump into the equinox, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so like I said already, the 2 equinoxes we get are our time to check in with balance. And with spring, we are looking at like, what do we need to balance in order to put things into motion to manifest? It's, that manifesting energy, because planting seeds and growing season and all of that. Spring is that way. Fall is the opposite, right? Look around you. Leaves are falling, and it's not really a time, I would say, to plant seeds. Now, you could, definitely. It's never too late to manifest or work on something, but that's just not really the energy at the moment. So we are really looking at what needs to be released. What do we need to let go of? I always look at this time of year, we get into September, and then it just seems like we are suddenly in January because holidays happen and it's just very fast-moving energy. So I look at September as, okay, this is my chance to rebalance some things, to let go of some things, to maybe release some things from my calendar or from my to-do list, or I like to always revisit my goals from the beginning of the year and be like, okay, that's just not realistically going to happen. Let's put that off for next year, because I want to start to conserve that energy that I will need for Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. It's, as a parent especially, it's a lot of making the magic happen. And so I need to make space for that for myself. So you might want to do the same. You might want to look at making space because, this podcast is about slow living, right? You start overbooking yourself and wanting to do all the cozy things. It can feel overwhelming. So you want to maybe start doing that, make some space, figure out what can you let go of. And that includes like habits that are no longer serving you. And it's time to change it up anyway. Like all of summer, I pretty much eat not a cold breakfast, but not a hot breakfast, like toast or something like that. But as soon as the cold sits in, I start eating like oatmeal or like a cup of miso soup, like warm foods, because I want to start my body able to digest in the morning. I'm getting to that age. But that's really for all of us. But it's this time of starting to build in these more cozy activities, right? The pumpkin spice, which we all know is protective. It's the sipping the coffee slowly, the making the pot of tea and enjoying it throughout the morning. It's the finding a good book to read, which, by the way, if you don't already have a library card, please get one. And once you get your library card, please get the Libby app, which is amazing. It's free and it works with your library card. And it gets you digital books and audiobooks. Very helpful. And this time of year, personally, I like to read cozy books. So there are subgenres called cozy fantasy and cozy mystery. And I highly recommend checking some of those out. We've been reading this Fairy Bargains book. Let me get the actual full name. I swear one day I'll have everything prepared. Okay, so it's called The Fairy Bargains of Prospect Hill. Most people already done reading it by Rowena Miller, and we're reading a fiction book in our coven. And I gave them lots of different options, and this one won, and it's a cozy fantasy, meaning like you don't have to study a map. People have relatively normal names. It's just, there's magic in it, but it's not like, I don't know, it's not as intense. These cozy books are like more chill, and I really like that for this time of year, and also for slow living in general. Some other autumn equinox ideas and activities for slow living are getting outside and being a leafer, right? Like going and admiring the leaves, or driving somewhere where you can go admire the leaves, collecting leaves. We did a funny family photo shoot last year where we all went to the local park together and we each picked out a leaf and then put that in front of our face and took a family photo. It was really fun. My son's goal was to find the biggest maple leaf, and he definitely won. Making a leaf bouquet, right? Putting leaves or acorns on your altar. I've been seeing it's funny to me on TikTok. There's been a trend about like because of the recession or whatever, people are saying it's like I can't afford to decorate for autumn, and they just put some leaves out. But yeah, that's what witches do. I'm not out here buying leaves. Like you can wax dip them, you can do all kinds of stuff, but that's the best fall decoration. Talked about apples last time, like cutting an apple in half for your autumn equinox altar. Yes, putting some leaves in a jar and arranging them nicely, adding a few acorns. Like that's a perfect altar to me. Like what else do you need? You don't need to buy like a fake pine cone. Like just go get one. So anyway, doing those kinds of things, lighting candles, right? Like we're going to start getting where it's darker earlier. So if you don't like fire, get the little battery ones. But I just found I've had forever on my thrift wish list. Yes, I do have a thrift wish list. It keeps me honest because I'll go to the thrift store and be like, oh, I really like this, but it's not on the dream list. But forever I've had on my list were brass candlesticks, and I just recently went with the family to this citywide yard sale near me, and I got 2 for $2, and it was amazing. Like, what a steal. Super nice lady too. And so now I have those for the center of the dining room table, so we can have nice little candlelit dinners, and, of course, my son will play with the candle, but such it is to be a mom. Always burn things safely and keep your children away from fire. But some of them are like moths. And so, yeah, having the candles coming out, the warm drinks, the cozy blankets, and slow living too. It's not about spending money, like you don't have to go and buy all the things like we just talked about. This is more about like finding the nature things or upcycling things, going to the thrift store, going to the garage sale, whatever. But yeah, it's more about that. And then other things for the equinox is, like I said, you can take it kind of two ways. It's a time to release, but it's also time to balance. So really what you're doing is figuring out what you need to release to find your balance. And if you just go with that idea or that theme, what do I need to release to find balance? You will find all kinds of things, right? You'll start releasing habits. You may start releasing things on your to-do list. You may start releasing things you originally said yes to, but find you have no actual want or energy to do. This is a time of year we start to slow down, which is hard because it gets busy with all the holidays, but we do what we can to slow down even more, right? And savor the day. Savor, like I love this. I love the lighting this time of year. I recommend doing like some photos. Like you don't need to have a fancy camera. Just take like your phone and go to a park and just take photos. And they don't have to be for anyone. You don't have to put them on your Instagram. You don't have to put filters on them. Just like go check out the way the light is playing. Taking photos will make you get up and close and personal with things. And another thing to do or think about this time of year is stocking your autumn winter apothecary. So if you're into that, if you're into herbs, if you haven't already made like a fire cider or an elderberry syrup or a four thieves vinegar, this might be the time to do that. This is the time to like stock up on things that'll help your body through the winter. So cherry bark, one of the best things I found for a sore throat, as well as dried sage leaves and clove. It's not combined. Don't combine those three things. Those are all separate things. Someone's got a sore throat, hot water with like 3 clove in them. Always cover your herbal tea so they steep better, and that really numbs and feels good. Sage does the same thing. You can make sage honey, you can make garlic honey, which is one of my favorite things. It's a time to, if you get congested a lot, you want to stock up on some dried mullein, and some dried mints. They'll both together, because mullein doesn't taste that great, but together they really help you breathe and breathe clearly. It's a time, to like go through your pantry, make sure you have, if you're not into building your own teas or having an apothecary, go get the, throat coat tea or whatever. Make sure you have real honey on hand. That's really good for sore throats. Cough drops, whatever. It's time. Like if you're not into the herbal aspect of it, that's totally okay. Get your version of that and make sure you're stocked, because it's, unfortunately bound to happen. People are going to get sick. And it's better to be prepared than you suddenly feel terrible, but you don't want to go to the store. So this is a time of year I go through our pantry, make sure we have like the proper fever reducers and, all the like drugstore stuff. And I go through and make sure the apothecary is stocked. One of my favorite things to take every day during the winter is lemon balm, because it's a natural antiviral. And it's uplifting, like it's energetic, it's uplifting, which helps with if things get darker. And it's just a time, I don't know, this is called Cozy Coven Chats. My whole like lifestyle, I just like to be cozy, but when it's colder, you can get really cozy. So ask yourself that, like, how can I make my day even just 5% more cozy? Is it, wearing soft socks, whatever? Like, why are we not living our life more cozy? It's a time to bake too. If you like to bake, definitely. Been making a lot of things with apples. Just made an apple cake recently, apple butter. Such a perfect time for that. And time to bake bread. It's time to eat soups and stews. We like to think in this house of fall and winter time as our hobbit time. It's like the ideal dinner when it's a hobbit dinner, which means like a really good fresh baked bread with butter and honey on the table and some kind of super stew. We're like living our best hobbit life here. So that's kind of a favorite thing to do. So when we look at the equinox, both of them we're talking about balance, but this one is about shedding skin, about releasing things, about letting go of leaves, right? We start to see the animals are preparing for winter. They're all caching, right? All my birds are burying peanuts left and right. And that's what I'm talking about, like getting that apothecary set up, getting your everything ready to go, because it's like, might as well. And then on top of that, we're entering Libra season, which is such a charming time of year. It's like Libras are so, my very close chosen family is Libra, and she is just naturally very beautiful, very charming, but always so good with like aesthetic, like really knowing how to put together a room or an outfit. And that's Libra. Like, it's just charming, it's beautiful. It makes you, because it's such a Venus ruled sign like Taurus, it makes you want to beautify everything. So if you find yourself wanting to make things prettier or arranging things nicer, give in. If you're finding yourself wanting to like try a little harder, put together an outfit a little more, give in, right? Like, we cleared and we cleaned and we decluttered with Virgo season to make room for the beautification of Libra season. So I'll leave you kind of with that idea. So a couple of journal questions are, what do you need to release to find balance? And going back to our Chariot card, what or where would you like things in your life to move faster? And reflecting on Libra season, right? Where can you add more beauty in your day? And that could be buying yourself flowers. It could be arranging crystals in your bathroom just because you want them in there and you want to look at them while you're in there. It could be, painting your nails, whatever. Like, where do you want to add beauty? I hope you have a good week. I hope this eclipse season has been kind to you and that the lessons have been helpful. I hope the equinox helps you find some balance. As always, thank you for listening. As always, thank you for listening. Please subscribe and share with a friend. If you haven't already done so, be on the lookout for my book, Spirit Crystals. Discover your crystal guide for healing and empowerment. Available wherever you buy books.